As government makes significant interventions in response to the coronavirus, businesses are rapidly adjusting to the changing needs of their people, their customers and their suppliers, while navigating the financial and operational challenges. With every industry, function and geography affected, the amount of potential change to think through can be daunting. Today's CEOs are faced with overwhelming competing challenges and uncharted waters as they continue to navigate the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. While some persons, like civil servants, may be assured of at least steady payment of salaries, those in the private sectors are faced with high level of uncertainty. Shops are closed, salaries are not being paid, operational cost is constant, and jobs are threatened on a daily basis. This morning on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, we are embarking on a journey to find out how service providers and small business owners are surviving the hard times occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic. We shall speak with transporters. We shall speak with a transporter, a school proprietor, a hotelier, food vendors, and their stories might be your starting point. Hang on. I am Chioma Nkwanta. Good morning to you and welcome to the platform. With me in the studio this morning is ENYI HARBOUR. He is an Umuahia-based school proprietor. You're welcome, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I also have with me Joseph Ugu, also an Umuahia-based hotelier. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and good morning to the listeners.
You're welcome this morning. Today on the platform, the question first of all is that if you remember, schools hurriedly closed for last term because of the lockdown in some states, except in Abia State, where the governor graciously allowed schools to continue and students to continue to complete their terminal examinations. How has this pandemic affected the academic calendar?
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you. The governor graciously allowed the school term to be completed. That was the second term, and we are supposed to have started the third term right now. In fact, the third term was supposed to have started about 20th of April. And right now, we've lost a whole month and going to the second month. And that has really affected of course, the calendar is seriously altered right now, and even if schools were to reopen today, we will still have to shift into the next academic year. We are not going to be able to complete this academic year at the planned date of July, and that will not be possible, and that will have the third term is going to extend far into the holiday and maybe even into September or thereabouts, and so that has really been affected seriously. Okay.
How can students actually catch up?
Well, yes, really nothing. To be honest with you, a lot of things can be done, but nothing will take the place of the brick and mortar classroom. Okay, the government is having a radio classroom, radio school, which is ongoing right now. The state government is doing that, which is ongoing, good. It keeps the children busy, but then for real learning to take place, there has to be the teacher, the students, and there has to be assessment and feedback. Okay, so what we are doing right now is that the teacher sits in the radio station and he talks, and he doesn't know who is listening and who is not listening, and there's no feedback. There's no assessment to what you have done. The children don't get back to you. You give assignments on radio, they do it. They don't send it back to you for you to assess what they have done, and then many schools, also private schools, are beginning to adopt e-learning platforms, which to a great extent is doing that. But like I told you, nothing will take the place of our brick and mortar classroom. We can only do that for now, just as a stopgap, but we will need to get back to the classroom. Okay.
The downer right now when it comes to the radio classroom is the fact that there is no feedback.
No feedback, no assessment.
But how do you think that the radio classroom is actually impacting anything in the lives of the students?
Since there's no assessment, we don't know.
Okay.
There has to be an assessment. There has to be a way that we can check what we have done. Did the children learn? Is there any way that you can gauge that learning has taken place. And right now, the platform is not there for us to gauge that.
Okay. All right. I'm coming to Joseph Ugo right now. Good morning.
Morning once more.
Thanks so much for joining
listeners
us.
Once more.
All right. So tell us how the pandemic has actually affected hospitality industry.
Okay, before I go into that, I would like to send my condolences and the condolences of Resorts Continental Resort to all the families and people that lost their lives during this pandemic. May their souls and the souls of the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
Apparently, even a child knows there's something wrong. It's of immense proportion because the world is all completely shut down. There's nothing going on. Most hotels are completely closed. All economic indicators are down. Occupancy is down. Revenue is down. And even the people in the hotel, you find it difficult sometimes to source what you will need to take care of them. Because a lot of people are locked in the hotel. They couldn't travel. Some of them are foreigners. No help. And it's not easy for the hotels at all. So all economic indicators are down.
Okay. How do you operate at the moment? Do you screen your guests?
Yes, we actually operate with extreme caution. First, before you enter the hotel, we take your temperature. And if your temperature is above 37, we advise you to seek medical help.
Okay.
And then, after that, if the temperature is within 36 degrees centigrade, we allow you to come in. But then you have to wash your hands and then use our sanitizers, which we provide. We have even gone to the extent of providing face masks, which we give out at 200 naira to make sure that everybody entering the hotel is safe.
Okay.
And also, when the guests leave, before we clean the room, we fumigate every room. Even the government has come to fumigate Resorts completely and give us a certificate for that.
Okay.
So we are taking all the precautions. And incidentally, maybe by chance, our doors are automated. So to enter inside the lobby of the hotel, the door opens by itself and you just go in.
Okay. So aside the fumigators fumigating the hotel that the government has done, did you get any other support from the government?
I think information from the government should be the number one thing we say we got from them. We don't need to get these things directly as a grant or as a subvention. Mere informing the people of what is happening, wash your hand regularly, maintain a safe distance. All these things they don't come as tangible, but they are really tangible. They are very important information for people to know what to do, because that's the first way to avoid the spread. We always say, let us spread the news and not the virus.
Spread the news and not the virus. Yes, this is the platform, a pinnacle of all discussions. I have with me this morning ENYI HARBOUR, or Mazi ENYI HARBOUR, yes, a school proprietor, and also Joseph Ugo, an Umuahia-based hotelier. So I'm going to throw this question right now at the both of you. Since the lockdown started, do you still pay your staff?
Yes, we have paid April.
Okay.
Okay, May is coming up, but if we will pay May is a question that many school proprietors will not be able to answer. One is that private schools depend basically on fees from parents to run and loans to finance their operations and things like that. And right now schools are short, nobody's paying fees, and no income is coming in, and they are servicing loans, and these loans are heavy. And that brings us to what we've been crying about over these years, because you talked about what government is doing about SMEs and things like that. Unfortunately, the private school sector is not captured under central bank's net of SMEs. So private schools are not grouped as SMEs, and nothing comes. If you go to get any assistance as an SME, you are not captured. You go to Bank of Industry, you are not an industry, you don't get anything. So you go to the commercial banks to get the high rates of about 26 to 28% interest rate, on your loans, and you service them. Some of these things are short loans, or 2 years, 3 years maximum, and nobody will be able to survive on that. And so basically now you're asking can we pay? No, we can't. There are 52,000 workers employed by private schools in Abia State, and their jobs are in jeopardy right now as we speak. None of them can boast of getting this May salary. Those who some got May, some got April, some got half salaries in April, but May the question marks are increasing every day. So except something is done, and that will bring us, maybe we'll talk about it later, there has to be something. We have to look at this thing now as what the government has to do to ensure that this sector does not die. Because right now, quite a large population of our children are in private schools. 52% of secondary school children in urban areas are in private schools. 78% of nursery and primary school students are in private schools. And we have 10.3 million out of school children in Nigeria. And if nothing is done, this large percentage that are in private schools will join that large 10.3 million and increase the number further. Because by the time COVID-19 is over, many parents will lose their jobs and will not be able to pay school fees to private schools. And that will mean, a lot of school dropouts coming up. And we have to do something immediately to stop this from happening, or else we are going to regret it. And you know what it means. If Nelson Mandela, who said it, that when you open a school door, you close a prison gate. So the more schools that will close down, this after post-19 will open more prison gates, and we say God forbid. But we need to do something about it. It's not going to come by wishful thinking. We need to sit up right now and do something about it.
All right. Okay, so Joseph.
And for the hotels, are we paying? Are we going to continue to pay? Yes, we pay, because we took proactive measures as soon as this situation came up. What we did first was to trim down the staff, because it would be difficult for you to ask people to transport themselves to the office, work for the day, and go back, and they are not going to get anything. In a situation of a forced measure like this, that is an act of God. It takes the magnanimity of the owners of the property to give you anything. But we are doing skeletal service, and we were able to pay 50% of the salaries last month.
Okay.
We just pray, and we are working that we'll be able to pay this month.
This is the platform, a pinnacle of all discussions, and you've heard it from two employers of labor. Yes, and hopefully the month of May, their workers will get their pay. Hopefully. Amen. All right, well, we'll be opening the phone lines for us to get your contribution, because we're looking at how coronavirus pandemic is affecting businesses in Nigeria and in Abia State as a whole. 0808-1826-949 or 0811-6052-949. You can send SMSs to 0906-510-8289. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chairman Kwanta.
Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Okosi HARBOUR, am I right?
No, ENYI HARBOUR.
ENYI HARBOUR, I'm sorry, sir. And the other of our brother over there.
Yes. Joseph Ugu is my name. Morning.
Joseph Ugu, good morning. You're welcome. My name is Uwakwe Chidebe. Yes, I know very well that this particular pandemic disease has really affected a lot. Like me, I run a laundry. I can easily count how many people that comes to patronize me now in a week, unlike before. It lies on each and every one of us to help the government. I believe that government cannot do it alone. For instance, the state government has established this classroom teaching through radio and television. At the same time, I expect most of these schools to do theirs in order to help the children. For instance, where my children go to school, they are doing this online learning. So what I do, after they may have sent both the teaching and the assignment, I will download, give to my children. They will go through it and do the assignment. I will send back. In order to make sure that these children are up to speed with what is happening in the school. Else, sincerely speaking, we'll have enough coconut head after this pandemic disease, and we don't pray for that. Then when it comes to business, certainly in the whole world, it will certainly affect everything. I pray that government will really have to do something as regards to public sector, because a lot of families are going to lose their job, and their children has to survive.
Please wrap up your thoughts.
Yes, like Sir Onye, you said, if you don't take proper attention on education, certainly prison gate will be open, and it will not be good for us. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have joining us right now a transporter. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Sir, please, can we get your name?
My name is Comrade Achoba Odina, Manager Libra Motors Omaha.
All right, thank you for joining us this morning. Now, with the lockdown, so far so good, how has it affected transportation?
It has affected us all around because we are interstate transporters traveling from Omaha to Lagos or from Omaha to Abuja. And since 26th of March, we have been on lockdown because of the interstates. So nothing has been going on in our corporations. The whole of our offices is locked down.
And the cars are also packed, no movement, from no activity.
Movement. The whole of our offices, like our Libra Motors that has up to 300 to 400 vehicles, are packed. And there is no movement because of these interstate bans. So it's only the people that operate within the states operate. It's getting to 2 months, and now that we are back. Last month we weren't paid because of there was no business at all. We are just begging the director of the companies to pay even half month so that we can see what to feed our children with.
So as it stands now, your staff of your company have not been paid?
Even for last month that we didn't operate at all. This month, today is 18th, so everybody's getting hungry.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, my dear. God bless you.
All right. Okay, so we heard from an interstate traveler, an interstate transporter, who has shared his experience with us concerning how coronavirus has affected the transportation business in Nigeria. Let's take more calls right now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume on your radio.
Hello.
Hello, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, please, what is your name first?
I said, my name is Mrs. Clement.
Okay, Mrs. Clement, go on.
Then my question is, he said that they can't pay their salary. Then how can I think that a husband and wife based on that? And this is how is it that they don't say now they didn't want to pay wife? So they have children, and both of them are teachers, and their hope is on them. Then another question, he said that their salary payment is based on the if they come back and pay the school fees, will they now come back to pay because the salary did not pay them? If the students later.
Right, Mrs. Clement, thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mrs. Clement, your question, if I get you, your line wasn't very clear, but if I get you correct, you are asking if a parent, husband and wife were teachers in a private school, and right now the salaries are not coming. What will happen? Well, it's what we have on ground right now. And the second question is if school resumes tomorrow and parents pay school fees. Of course, if schools resumes tomorrow and money comes in, all the outstanding salaries will be paid because we have a contract. As long as they remain your staff, you have a contract to pay them. Unfortunately, we found ourselves in situations that are beyond our control, and everybody is understanding it. You know, a lot of my staff have come and said their landlords are disturbing them. They have to pay rent, and I'm saying, I wanted to say, can't those landlords understand what we are now? But I also realized that the landlords also have to feed their families and all those. Everybody's looking for wherever the thing can come in from. You know, is a difficult situation, but we are just praying that this will not go beyond this season that we are.
Amen. Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Choma.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Honorable HARBOUR.
Thank you. Good morning.
And please, I don't know of in the studio and other educationalists in the studio. Good morning, all of you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. I remember Mr. Prince Ruswago coming here from Momona, Chinobo local government area.
Okay.
My brother, without being told, the effect of this COVID-19 has affected every facet of the economy. Every facet of our lives has affected us negatively. But my take is this: whether it has affected us negatively or positively, my panacea to the COVID-19 is let there be sincerity, let there be communication among leaders, among our health sectors, as well as among the states and local governments in Nigeria. The communication we are receiving on how this COVID-19 is going is not palliative. It's not palatable to us in the rural areas. Then secondly, the use of e-learning, I don't accept it. My own kids and wards are in private sector. Most of us are not, we don't have electricity to communicate with this e-learning. What I'm saying is this: let us have sincerity among the leaders so that we know when this COVID-19 should be stopped, and we know how it should be cured. If you talk to NAFDAC, they will tell you that chloroquine is not used. The other sector, the other school of thought will tell you that chloroquine is being used. If you talk to the doctors from China, they tell you that they don't know where they are. Is it the way we are going to fight this COVID-19? Let's have sincerity amongst ourselves. If we have it, this COVID-19 can be cured.
All right,
when
thank
we work
you.
Together. That is my take. May God bless you.
Amen. Thank you. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Turn down the volume on your radio, please.
Hello, good morning.
Yes. Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Untitled.
All right. Go on.
Okay. I'm a secondary school student. And I'm listening to the talk they are giving. And I want to ask, is there any way of resumption, of school resumption?
Okay. Is there any date for school resumption?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. She said, is there any hope? Yes,
hope?
There is hope.
Yes,
is there any date? Not yet. There is hope.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. We're being joined by another hotelier right now. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Mr. Eze, manager, Confidence Hotel Omar here.
All right,
It's my pleasure.
Okay, Mr. Eze, thank you so much
my
for joining
pleasure.
us this morning. How has
Thank you, ma'am.
coronavirus affected business activity in the hotel business?
It's a very rough day, very rough time for the world. Honestly, it's a pandemic that no one expected, no one prepared for it. It just came. We thank God that we are still standing. It's a global issue. It affected business all over the world, not just here in Omar here, not just here in the United States, everywhere in the world. For those that are traveling for business, those that are traveling for pleasure, those that are traveling to see their family, wanted or the other, they will also be affected. Here in Omar here, particular Confidence Hotel, the number of people that we usually have actually reduced because of this interstate lockdown and also the movement within the state, also within the city, within the environment. People are afraid of going out from their homes to come and have fun. People are afraid of, going out. So it is not an easy thing for us. But we've also tried our best to make sure that everybody that comes into this place to patronize us at this time, that we make sure that the environment is safe for them. We've also worked with different organizations to make sure that we provide all the necessary things that they need to keep the environment safe. Making sure that anybody that walks into this place is being tested with the testing machine. We also make sure that they wash their hands, they wear their face masks, make sure they are safe. We are not just here to make money. We're also here to make sure that after coronavirus, life continues. So anyone that survives this time, we say, God bless them.
Now, these safety measures that you're taking, you're putting in place for your staff, for your visitors, are you applying the same thing for your staff as well?
Yes. In fact, all my staff, whenever they resume work in the morning, I make sure that they're being tested.
Okay.
They move to straight where we testing points. We test them. We make sure they wash their hands. We make sure they also apply their hand sanitizer, their nose masks. They don't just serve our guests. Those that actually come to personal just serve them. We start putting on their face masks. We make sure that yes, they put on all these things to maintain strict adherence to the guidelines given by NDCV.
Okay. And let's talk about payment of salaries. Are your staffs guaranteed of salary this month?
Yes, they are all guaranteed for the salary this month. We are not reducing we are not reducing. We are not shutting down the place. We are not retrenching our staff. We're making sure that everybody's get their full salary for the month.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the platform.
Thank you.
My
pleasure.
Yeah. This is the platform, a pinnacle of all discussions. We have been hearing situation reports in terms of business from so many platforms. We've heard from the transporting sector. We've heard from the hotel sector, hospitality sector. We've also heard from the education sector. And now we want to feel your pulse. We want to hear from you. How has coronavirus pandemic affected you? And what's your contribution on today's program? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chioma.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's Alvan. I'm calling you from Bender.
Alvan, you're welcome.
Yeah, honestly, we are in a very, very difficult time. There is no point repeating what the people have stated already. But the way out seems to be agriculture. And that is why I like what the wife of the governor is doing, massive campaign on both women, everybody returning to agriculture. Even the governor, because he directed the TC chairman to look inwards to, find out where they can, whatever they can produce. Because if we don't work on agriculture, all the sectors of the economy, is in a serious mess, even sports. So I think it's very, very necessary now for us to have cottage industries that will process some of the things we are going to produce. Definitely, there is massive cultivation this period. Of course, here in Bende, maybe that is why the TC chairman have formed what he calls Bende Integrated Marketing Board to ensure that farmers are supplied with necessary agricultural input. Of course, they will buy whatever they will produce, to kind of create an enabling market for them. So all of us are involved. The best thing for us is not always complaining. The problems are here. So what can we do? So it's necessary we, focus more on agriculture. That is, like I said, it seems to be the way out. Of course, I will have hope that the problem will be solved and the world will, return back to its normalcy. Thank you very much and have a nice day, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So as business owners, as business operators, are there any plans that you would have put in place if you had prior knowledge of the coronavirus pandemic?
Of course, every business owner plans. At the beginning of the year, you make your plans, you make your budgets and all that. You have your business plan. Unfortunately, we didn't see this coming. I mean, we didn't know it was going to get to us, and even the federal government, they wasn't expecting it, because as big as America was, they weren't expecting it, because when they were telling Trump to shut down the borders and all that, so nobody knew this was going to be as large as this, and that the effect was going to be as massive as what we have on ground. But whatever plans we had on ground didn't make any allowance for this, for what was coming. We can only do some change of plans, change our budgets and all that to face the new reality. Like in my school, what we have done was to take advantage of our e-platforms that we had, which were not hitherto maximizing, and to put them in use right now for the students to begin to learn online. So we have our online learning programs, which integrates both Zoom and audio, video and audio teachings. And there's a feedback. The children can, watch the teacher teach and can ask questions and do assignments and send back. But it's also limited, like I said, because not every parent can afford this. Yeah. Not every parent can afford the device. Not every parent can afford the data to do that. Not every parent can afford they don't have lights to charge their devices and things like that. And like the man that come from Obo said, some of them in the rural areas don't just, this thing is not connecting. Yeah. So online thing is good. We will get there. But before now, we need to carry everybody along. What we are talking about is inclusive education. And inclusive education takes place in the classroom, in the four walls of a classroom. If we do online, we exclude many students, many pupils are excluded. And so we need to keep on praying that this happens. But also, I think that by now we should begin to think about how we can live with this thing. I know we should think about how is it going to be that bad? Can we find out what we can do to see whether we can live our normal lives or something close to our normal lives, even while we are dealing with corona? That's the thing, because if we fold our hands totally and be waiting till the day the thing goes away, it's not going to go away. So we have to think about that. We have to think about the job losses. Every government is talking about how to protect loss of jobs. If we are going to cut down on staff, many people are going to go unemployed, and they are going to the crime rate has already gone up. Today we are hearing about burglaries and armed robberies, and 419 has increased. Internet fraud has so much increased because a lot of our university students are at home with their laptops idle, and everybody is trying out his hand and learning new tricks on the internet. And so the earlier we get them back to school to employ those skills into their academics, the better for us. And we need to begin to think fast. I think we should begin to call for stakeholders, and what you're doing on this program today, this platform today, is good, because every sector is being integrated into this. The hotels, I wonder how they are surviving, because when you shut down a hotel, they are running bills. Generally, even before the COVID, they were running like almost 80% of the day they run on generators. And this takes, I'm just saying that I used to tell people that if you remove generator problem from hotels, most of our hotels they can charge us 5,000 naira for very big hotels like Rizos. I can enter Rizos and pay for maybe 10,000 naira for their rooms. If you just remove the cost of hotels, running generator, like that, because that's the major issue they have.
That's
there.
the cost.
And still it limits them, because there are some things they would like to do, and the size that the generator can't even take it. So look at the transporters. 2 months shut down, fleet of cars, and at the more these cars are shut down and grounded, the faults begin to develop. Tomorrow when you come and start them, you have to service, you have to change brake pads, you have to do, have to lubricate and do all those things, and who knows how long. What about the aviation industry? We're not talking about aviation because there's no airport in Abia. But if you have aviation and you have airpeace with a fleet of how many aircrafts grounded, and their staff at home doing nothing, by the time they come back, all those fleets, all those aircrafts have to go for servicing before they can be put to use again. Some of those pilots have to go for retraining and all that, because they have lost some hours of flying, and it's massive. It's massive. And the insurance companies, of course, they are going to bear the cost of some of the losses, and they can't take it. Just like what happened in 9/11 in US, when insurance companies had to, go bankrupt because they couldn't pay insurance premiums to people who were affected by 9/11. And so what's going to happen now is everywhere, the banking industry, they are laying off staff everywhere. So we need to begin to think, how can we live with this thing? Can we live with it? Is there anything we can do to live something close to our normal lives again, instead of folding hands and waiting for it to go away?
All right, thank you so much.
For us in Rixos Continental Resort, here, we apply what we call strategic management.
Okay.
We plan for things before they happen. We create systems to handle things, to mitigate situations. That is why one of the most important things in the hospitality is also to test your staff on the food handlers test, meaning you are preparing for bacteria, for virus that may just show up from somewhere. But the question is, does anybody actually prepare for a pandemic of this proportion? I doubt. So the basic strategies we had helped us to be able to prepare ourselves as soon as we were hearing what is happening. But nobody expected it to get to this point. This is a business that relies on logistics. If the planes don't fly, like we are an international hotel, so we deal with OTAs, meaning online travel agents. Okay. We deal with airlines, we deal with bookers from here and there, wholesalers and retailers. This situation has affected everybody. So people can't fly, so the guest is not coming. People can't move because there's a lockdown. Those who can move locally cannot actually provide enough for you to run the place. Sometimes we run the generator for 6 hours, 8 hours, like he said. And the major cost of running a hotel is power. So these things, you can mitigate to a certain extent, but to a pandemic level is difficult. So we had plans, and that's why we had the thermometers, infrared thermometers, to test people. As soon as we know that we need to do all these things, getting information from NCDC, we applied them.
Okay.
We activated them, and that's maybe the reason why we are still open.